Hello, thank you for watching TorontoTv. Today, our guest is Sandra Yeung Racco. Hello, Sandra.
Hello， 你好
，Hello. Hello, Joseph.
Yeah. 咁Sandra，我知你係香港移民啦，可唔可即係介紹下你啲移民經歷？譬如話邊一年嚟加拿大啊？點解移民咧咁
？That means you give away 我嘅 age, but that's okay. 我 actually 好細個同成家嘅移民過嚟嘅，我過嚟嗰時係1968年嘅，我嗰陣時先係第1年班學校嘅。咁過咗嚟就因為我哋嗰個時間咧，香港唔係咁穩定咧，咁我媽咪爹哋就覺得過嚟呢邊好啲，同埋因為我有2個哥哥1個家姐嘅。咁我哋個個都係喺專音樂嘅，即係個個都彈琴啊！我哋3個彈琴，1個彈violin 嘅。咁我媽咪就覺得多倫多好啲，因為有嗰個 Royal Conservatory of Music。就因為嗰樣嘢咧，我哋就專登過嚟嘅多倫多 ，instead of 去溫哥華。Actually， 溫哥華 would have been better for 我媽咪爹哋，因為佢哋有好多朋友喺嗰邊咧，咁熟朋友啊，同埋又近啲香港啦。但係因為嗰個Royal Conservatory 咧，佢哋 decide 嚟呢度 Toronto 好啲。
So as we know, you have 20 years politics life. So would you mind introduce why you are interested in this field and what's your achievement? What made you so excited?
Well, actually, I'll start off. 我俾少少 background 你，因為我嚟到呢度咧，就 of course 喺呢度長大，呢度讀書啦。咁我就係入咗呢個University of Toronto 呢個 Faculty of Music 啊。我係 graduate music graduate 嘅。咁同埋我完咗我呢個 Royal Conservatory ARCT 喺嗰個Conservatory 嗰度。咁之後咧，咁我就出嚟就搞音樂啦 ，as you probably know 。But then 我覺得 after a little while， 因為我好細個已經開始教音樂嘅 ，actually 我6年班已經開始教音樂嘅，我教第啲細路仔咧喺個 neighborhood 咧教佢哋彈琴。咁我覺得教音樂嘅 good。In the sense that it's very satisfying， 即係睇啲細路仔可以彈琴啊，咁其實幾好嘅，又見到佢哋啲佢啲家長啊開心啊咁開心嘅。但係 at the same time， 我覺得I was going backwards within 嗰個community 個 world news 啊，世界嗰啲news。我覺得我自己 falling behind， 因為你同啲細路仔你講乜嘢，淨係講去睇咩 cartoon 啊，去邊度玩啊，邊度食係咪？咁你冇正式有個 conversation 嗰啲正式嘅，即係大人啊，可以同佢哋傾 about world news。咁我就decided 出嚟就唔再嘅教琴啦，就出嚟就做第啲嘢咁。最初都係覺得話咁我做得乜嘢啦？因為成世都係嘅，係音樂嗰樣嘢。咁我覺得點樣？咁我就知道我打字好快，因為我彈琴好快，所以我打字特別快。咁我就覺得OK， 我可以打。咁我可以出嚟做啲 administration 咧，用個 computer 啊，教自己學啲嘢。咁出嚟揾咁我最初啲工都係同有 computer 個 related 嘅。我最初係同 Computerland， 咁拉尾又同 Unisys 一個好大嘅 computer company 做嘅。咁就係within 嗰個 administration 嗰樣。But 我係一個人即係好中意學嘢，好中意嘅 as much as 可以學到咧。可以嘅，即係新嘢咧，我就最中意嘅，因為我覺得好 interesting 咧。咁我就學咗好多 marketing 嗰樣嘢，因為我同個 marketing 嘅 department 做啦，之後做咗好多，咁拉尾就轉咗去有人叫我同佢一齊做一個 company 係做international business trade and business 嘅，同埋佢又有個好 interesting 嘅，佢嗰個 company 有幾樣嘢嘅，一樣嘢就係專係賣啲 very straight Egyptian Arabian horses，so 好 rare 嘅，係 straight Egyptian Arabian horses 係 for breeding purposes， 好貴嘅嗰啲馬，但即係好多人咧就 use that as a tax shelter 咁樣。 佢哋嘅 invest into it, and so I sort of learned about 個 investment 個 part through 呢個trading ships and horses 咧。But then at the same time 咧，我呢個老細咧又有very interested in squash， 即係嗰個打 squash 咧。咁咧佢就有he ended up getting the 3-year world title 嘅，佢可以sponsor 嗰3 years 咧，咁就係同啲最叻嘅man squash player 同埋 female squash player， 咁we got to 去Malaysia 又去香港and different places to So it was really interesting. In actual fact, that's how I learned to play squash because of 嗰樣嘢。So I needed to learn how to 自己嘅打啦 ，right？ 如果唔係就變咗唔識嗰樣嘢就好難溝通㗎嘛，其實同嗰啲嘅人。咁我覺得幾好，都個好 interesting。咁 through 嗰個 experience 咧，我 learn 咗好多 about international trade development business development 從第二啲國家一齊傾睇下佢哋啲 interest 咁佢又有 also was involved with immigration。即係帶啲人過嚟點樣幫佢 settle into 加拿大即係揾學校揾屋嘅嗰樣嘢。咁所以我都覺得我 within 我啲幾我嗰個 period of time 出咗嚟嘅學嘅都學咗好多嘢，因為好多唔同嘢 ，and 我中意唔同嘅嘢。如果你叫我日日做一樣嗰樣 same thing，I think I get really bored 。所以我就出嚟就學咗。咁我嘅 politics 咧就係我 actually 係又係俾人 recruit 去 City of Vaughan 嘅。我 actually 做得好開心嘅，我嗰個女人就話：呢度有份工，佢哋好需要一個 really good administrator， blah blah blah。咁佢話：你試下。咁我最初同佢講，我話我根本都冇興趣喺 politics， 冇興趣at all，right？ 咁佢話你試下啦。咁我翻屋企諗下話，試唔試好咧？咁我就覺得如果我唔試咧，咁我 never give myself a chance to 知道中唔中意。如果我話我試咧，咁 at least 我可以試下。如果唔中意咧，咁我話唔中意就走咯，係咪？That's the way 我 think。因為我覺得 I guess I'm in a position, or I'm lucky in the position that 我唔係實要做工先可以 survive。即係I'm comfortable, right？ 咁我話 OK， 我試下啦。So that's how I got into City of Vaughan。咁我開始就喺嗰度做 ，and then that's where 我 meet 我嗰個 husband。我 husband 係佢 at that time was a city councillor， 佢喺嗰度係做緊議員嘅，做咗都成10幾年嘅喺嗰度。咁我就覺得我話好咧，俾我試下。就我覺得佢 demonstrate to 我即係politicians 都唔係個個都好即係咁衰嘅，即係你知人人都講哇啲 politician 咧，你全部咧又你又知樣又嗰樣咁我都唔知道嘅。咁我話 OK，let me try。但我覺得佢真係 put 佢個 heart and soul into 幫人，幫嗰個社會，幫 to make things better，right？ and 我覺得都幾好，都幾 interesting 啊 ，and it actually because it relates back to 我哋個living， 我哋個everyday living，right？ 咁我話都唔錯，咁就係因為咁樣，佢就我 husband 就2003年咧，啱啱就有嗰個 provincial election 啦。provincial election 咧，佢就 win 咗嗰個provincial 嘅，所以佢變咗 MPP of Thornhill。Well， 咁佢嗰個 position 咁 obviously 就開咗 open 咗咧，冇人咧。But 因為佢個 position， 佢喺嗰度做咗成20年咧，所以一去走咧，咁人人都去入去你知嘅，你知 once 一個 position open after 好多年冇啊，咁個人都想入去。咁嗰陣時都有成10幾個人參加呢個election 嘅選舉嘅，咁我都唔諗住嘅，我就係幫我個 husband run 佢個 election campaign。咁我話OK， 我就跌埋心度水幫佢嘅 run 啦。But then I think in the last minute， 好多人都叫我你 run 啦，你 run 啦 ，I said no， 一個 politician is more than enough 喺個 family， 唔使咁多個。 then到the last minute， 我個 husband 就同我講，佢話 you should really consider， 佢話因為 you know 你睇下 he goes 因為你做咗咁多 and at that time 我都好busy involved within the community. I was the president of the Ratepayer Association. I was on 佢嘅幾個arts and culture 嗰個committee 喺 City of Vaughan. I was on 嗰個race relation 嘅，所以我都已經好多 different committee 都 involved 喺呢個嘅黃氏嗰度。經驗係咯，我就嗰時 just before 我 actually 嘅咩sign up， 咁我心諗我睇，咁我就睇下成個 list of people， 即係join 就話 run 嘅 election， 咁我就look at each person， 咁我就話有唔有一個人喺呢個 list， 我覺得會 represent 我哋好嘅。That's really what I was trying to think。and 我覺得全部啲人咧冇個聽過嘅。冇個係 involved in 個 community， 即係 nobody was 即係佢哋入嚟係咯，入嚟係 for whatever their reason，but it wasn't because of 因為佢哋真係做咗好多嘢喺呢個嘅社會度啊，幫咗好多嘢又anything。咁 that's the reason why 我 decided to 擠我個名入去。I actually put my name in 15分鐘 before 嗰個 close of 個 nomination 嘅。咁我就咁樣，就嗰年就特別難，因為嗰個嘅2003年咧，因為我哋啱，因為你記得嘅 provincial 同 municipal overlap 嘅嗰個 election。變咗我就要 finish wrapping up 我 husband 嗰個 election 先 before 我可以 start 我嗰個 election， 變咗人都已經 start from 嗰陣時係1月已經開始 start 嘅，個個都喺度做嘢
working doors
係咯，我咧就到我淨係 actually I ended up being 有3個禮拜去 run 我個 election， that was really all it is， 3個禮拜，咁我就decided 我3個禮拜我就要 work very hard。我都知道好多 I know all the issues， 因為I was helping out 我 husband， so I know all the issues。It's a matter of 去同人講同人傾偈，咁我就日由9點鐘朝頭早到9點鐘夜晚黑，日去 knock on doors talk to people，and that's how I ended up being elected。
Not easy. That's a very good try though。
It was good. I mean, it was good because it makes you work hard. Especially 可以嘅減肥係最好嘅。I'm telling you， 日出去喺度嘅 knock door。But you know, I'll give you one little story. It was funny。咁我有一次during 嗰個 period 咧 ，I was knocking on the door， 有個後生 probably 20幾歲嘅男人喺屋企做嘢嘅，咁佢就開門。咁我就同佢講，我話you know 我係邊個you know I'm here 因為 of the election 咁佢望住我，佢就同我講，佢話I don't care about election， 你知啦，佢嗰啲啱又做完 provincial 咁啲人已經唔想開門啦嘛，佢話 there's no reason for to get that， you know they said it's all the same，and 我同佢講 I said no it's not all the same， I said in fact I said市嘅election 咧 municipal election it's more important than provincial and federal， 因為我哋嗰個 level is the one level that actually touches on your lives。 Okay, whether it's pick up 你個 garbage， whether 係鏟雪 whether 係 provide the recreation programs or road improvement， any of those things develop 都係我哋嘅 municipal level 係 make a decision。 So I said you should always elect 嗰個 municipal， 因為 the person 你要 elect 咧，希望嗰個人咧就會 represent 你嘅 voice 喺嗰個 level 嗰度。So I said to him, I said, it's very important. I said, it's more important than provincial and federal。 咁我就講完嗰個 spiel 啦，咁我就走啦 ，you know。咁到 the funny thing was after the election 咧 I actually got an email from 呢個人。Okay, he actually emailed me。我都唔記得咗佢個咩名㗎 ，right？ But he emailed me. He says, I'm not sure if you remember me, he says, but you knocked on my door and you told me the reason why municipal election is so important. And he said, in fact, this is the first time I actually went and voted, and I voted for you. So just 嗰樣嘢咧 to all it was very satisfying. At least I have influenced 一個人， doesn't matter what, but I've influenced 一個人 即係覺得 municipal election is important 係出去投票。And that's the thing that we want to get out there. We want people to understand the importance of election, the importance of 佢哋出去投票。That is the biggest thing.
OK， 咁我又 switch back a little bit 啦。咁就嗱，你係一個 mom 啦嚇，即係一個 wife， 一個媽咪 ，OK， 一個 politician，all right。咁就我想問就係話你嘅先生係意大利人。OK， 咁即係話其實係即係異族通婚 ，all right？It's a marriage between two races， yeah。係。So 有冇咩困難？有冇啲嘢適應期咧？其實
都冇啊 ，because well part of the reason， 因為我喺呢度長大啦，咁都已經 Western that nice 啦。In fact， 我媽咪成日都話你哋個個都好似嘅鬼佬咁樣嘅，even though 我哋 really not, but that's the way, you know. But I think the other thing is because 我哋喺呢度長大咧，我哋已經慣咗同第啲人溝通嘅 ，so that part is fine. And 我覺得意大利人同埋中國人咧，好多佢哋啲 customs is very alike。係啊，佢哋 value 啊，各方面啦。係咯 ，family 嗰樣嘢 is very important。佢哋嘅我哋兩個嘅 culture 都 very much alike， so it's not different。我覺得it was very easy to adapt。
OK， Rebecca。
I'm the person inspired by you and influenced by you as well. Now I understand why the municipal level is more important because it's more 親民啊。
Yes，
我都覺得好重要啊。
係啊
，Thank you。
好，咁講翻 election 啦。因為你叫 Sandra Yeung Racco， 係咁而你Vaughan 就知道都係一個意大利區，好大，意大利嘅 population 都好多。咁你會唔會係話一個 Chinese， 但係你 husband 又係 Italian， 你亦都 carry 一個 Italian last name， 對於你個即係選舉有啲幫助咧？其實
well definitely 實有幫助 ，especially 第一次2003年嗰時 ，you know，because even though 我係run 咧 ，but 因為我有嗰個 last name Racco 咧 ，obviously makes it a lot easier。即係唔係 definite， but at least it's easier for all. It's a plus, it's a bonus for all because 我用嗰個 last name。although it's funny， 如果啲人未見過我，如果佢知道我個名叫做 Sandra Racco 咧，佢 expect to 見個意大利人，你見到我咁樣講，你都唔係意大利人。I've had a lot of people said that to me, and I go, yeah, no. I said I'm marrying into Italian, but 有嘅 ，but then 我個區嗰度咧冇嘅，最初都有好多意大利residents 喺嗰度嘅 ，but 喺2010嗰陣時咧，個 OMB 就 change 咗我哋嘅 boundary， 我唔記得咗你知唔知道，記唔記得嗰個？咁佢 because OMB change 咗個 boundary 咧，我嗰個區咧就搬咗 north instead of across， 所以變咗我即係 north of Highway 7先係我嗰度，就變咗有好多猶太人喺我個區。So in fact 我個區我而家 represent 嘅區咧，多數都係猶太人、蘇聯人、中國人而家開始多啲啦。最初都冇嘅，我最初都有the first few terms 根本都冇中國人乜滯嘅，但係 because 我哋越嚟越develop 咧，越嚟越多新屋咧，就多啲中國人，同埋你知 Markham 又冇晒嘅屋嘅 Richmond Hill 又冇咧，咁啲人就搬咗過嚟我哋呢邊嘅皇氏嗰邊嘅，所以而家先開始多咗好多中國人。就我哋多數都係 basically Muslim South Asian 嗰啲人我多啲。So 我嗰個 area 係唔係咁多意大利人，係好多猶太人同埋蘇聯人多啲。
Can I ask a question?
Yes.
Yeah, Sandra, as we see from your picture and background, it's very beautiful and a lot of contemporary new architectures. as we know, you are the councillor of the Vaughan, Ward 4, right?
Yes.
Can you describe what kind of area it is? Is that combined like a residential or business, or carry on a lot of exciting things like a park or everything, right?
Yeah.
Can you describe a little bit?
Absolutely, yeah. So Ward 4, I am actually very lucky. Our ward, in fact, has a combination of everything. Also, the ward said that, say, for example,我個next ward 5咧，係多數係residential 嘅，全部都 basically 係 residential 嘅。But 我嗰個 ward 咧有好大份，即係 so north of 我嗰個 border 係 basically 係 Bathurst 嘅。All the way up to Teston Road. So Teston Road, Bathurst, all the way across, go west across to Dufferin, 都係全部 residential 嘅, okay? But then I also have a lot of industrial. See, Vaughan City, one of the biggest, I guess the biggest positive for the hype, because we have a huge industrial base, and that's the reason why it's the tax is less. We don't need to pay as much because of the fact that we have a huge industrial area. We also have a huge manufacturing base here. So hold all of that area, 喺我度一成個 Concord. It's in my area. Concord is the industrial area of across Canada. It's one of the biggest industrial areas. So I have that, and then on top of that, I have the downtown, but it wasn't the downtown when 我最初選舉嗰時咧，2003, it wasn't the downtown. It was basically box shops, like you had a Walmart and had a Home Depot, and that's about it. And also was like Brownfield, right? 冇乜嘢嘅. It was very home day and everything. But then because before our husband 轉去provincial 咧, he started the Spadina York Subway Extension Committee, 係 to fight to get the subway up to 我哋呢個皇士嗰邊. So as you know, 嗰個地鐵 only goes to Toronto. The border is basically Toronto, and that's it. 我哋咧就 made 我哋嘅 case, and he started that whole process. And when 去咗呢個 province 咧, I took over and I became the chair of 呢個 subway extension committee. And we fought very hard. And luckily, 我哋咁啱先個 provincial government 幫我哋 support 我哋 and was able to give us 嗰個 money. So we got the money. So in the budget of March 2006 is when we got the money to actually build the subway to come all the way to Vaughan. So 我哋係 Vaughan City 係 the only city 有個地鐵去到佢哋嘅 downtown. Nobody else has it. So that's the reason why 我哋而家 if you see what you see behind me, it's because of 嗰個 infrastructure. The infrastructure, 因為如果你個 subway 咧, you need people to live there. You need people to be there and use 嗰個 subway. Otherwise, there's no point of having a subway there, right? So that really helped us kickstart the whole development of the downtown. So the downtown area would be some basically 400 to the west side, 407 on the south side. I would say up to Langstaff or so on the north, and then east all the way to about Creditstone, the CN Rail. That's basically our downtown area. So Jane, Highway 7, that whole area. And if you come by now, you go to 20年前咧, you don't see any buildings like that at all.而家咧, this is the type of buildings you're going to see, and you're going to see a lot more. 因為有好多residential development 好多office building 而家有幾個, and there will be more coming in. 希望會有hotel entertainment. One of the things that I'm working on is a performing arts cultural and innovation campus 喺我哋呢個 downtown 度. So we're going to really bring in a lot of the arts and culture into 我哋呢個 downtown as well.
Because I see road congestion and tall building. Whole goal of 40 plus stories, am I? That would be a very highly populated, condensed area.
It is a condensed area, and that's the reason why we're really slowly trying to change the minds of all these citizens to say, use the public transportation instead of getting into the car. And this is a slow transition. 唔係咁易 convince 啲人 to get out of the car. But the only way to get out of the car, and I've said that over and over again, is as long as you have proper connection between east and west and north and south, 咁啲人咧就will take it. Because if you don't have a timely, efficient connection, 冇人會 take it. Because who wants to stand in a bus stop for however long, especially in我哋啲 weather. Winter. Exactly. 如果你喺香港, that's fine. The weather is always good, so it doesn't matter, right? But when you're here, it's not the same. So we are doing a lot of transportation. So you see the Viva Transit, the York Region, the investment in Viva Transit, or the subway, Go Transit. We're doing a lot of improvement on that. And we're getting all the different type of buses to connect to Odedido. So that's going to hopefully start getting people to think about not utilizing car. And especially, you know, the 油價 is so 貴. You know, who wants to pay 嗰啲油價 if you can actually get into a subway, get down to somewhere. Between 我哋而家呢度去到 downtown Union Station 咧, it only takes about 40分鐘. And that's it, which is pretty good.
Yeah.
You know, it's very quick. And you're connected. We are actually connected to all the financial district, all the downtown, all the way to Union Station. So 好多人而家 even when they go down to, well, 而家就冇啦，因為嘅 COVID 咧 but before COVID 咧，啲人去 Air Canada Centre 去睇嘅打波嗰啲嘢，they rather take a subway than to 又要去揾地方去泊車成at least 13、15、20蚊just to park. You know, it's very expensive.
25 now.
Yeah.
開車都好輕鬆啊。Yeah, we need to educate our people. Yeah.
We do. It's a slow process.
Yeah, the transportation, the infrastructure.
Yeah. It's not as easy. I mean, I guess it's for all it's easier to understand because coming from Hong Kong, we see it. I mean, I'll find Hong Kong, I would never get into a car. I would get into any public transportation because it's so popular. It's there, right?
Go everywhere.
It's not like that yet. And we need to educate the people that actually put the infrastructure in place. And we also need to educate the citizens to be able to give away the hall. Let's put the cars away. Let's get into that public transit.
Okay.
特別係而家嘅油費都好貴啊，都好。係啊，
同埋 that's the other thing is you got to make it affordable. 如果唔 affordable, there's nobody want to get. I mean, 喺香港你幾蚊就可以嘅搭嘅，但係呢度你要係咯，
呢度都係幾蚊，不過 Canadian 多。
係啊。
6 times more.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. 咁我另一個問題咧就係話但係你知道話咧，市議員咧 councillor elect by constituents 嗰啲選民選嘅，咁基本上咧冇 boss 嘅 ，even mayor is not your boss, right？ 咁我都聽講話某一啲 council 咧，你係 infighting， 即係好緊要。咁你做咗20年喺個市議會度 ，how do you work with your fellow councillors?
It's been actually for Vaughan City, it's been pretty good. I have to say that we've been respectful. I think the biggest word is being respectful. I think some of the other other municipalities that I've heard of, they're fighting. It's just because they don't respect each other. They don't respect. One thing that we all have to remember, even though they have elected as a politician, yes, you have your opinions, but so does everybody else. And you must respect everybody's opinion. You may not agree, but you need to respect and you need to listen. And then you make your decision. No one can influence you to say you need to make a decision. But that's my principle anyway. I listen to, 我聽晒人講完啲嘢，我聽市民講完，我聽 expert， 我聽我啲 colleagues, and then I'll make my decision based on the facts that I get. Sometimes, yes, there are politicians that get swayed by whether it's a developer or somebody because he's only approve her development or whatever, and then they will try to sway you and they will do all. And I've always said, I don't care who you are. You can be my best friend, but I will take every situation on its own merits. And I have to look at it from a planning perspective. Does it fit into this area? Is it the right height? Is it the right density? Is it the right shape? Is the architectural nice? Like all those has to complement whatever is already existing. That's all the principle. And I think part of the reason why I can do that is because I think I honestly go back to education. Because of my music education, I'm much more open and much more creative in the way I think. So, the politician, they tend to be, either they've taken politics or political science or whatever, and they're very rigid and very focused. And so they will look at something, a problem, they say, oh, it doesn't fit into this equation. No, that's it, right? Whereas I take a different stance. It may not fit into it, but is there a way without breaking the law, still be able to do something and still be able to be good? And when I make a decision, it's always that whatever the decision or maker has to not only apply to this particular instance, it has to apply across the board. Because I represent, as much as I represent Diga Ward, I also represent the entire city. So because if I make a decision and I open up in a Pandora box and I make a decision, it's going to affect everybody else. And then everybody says, well, if she gets it here, why can't we get it over there? So I have to be very cognizant of that and say, okay, does that make sense? And will it make sense right across the city? Oh, yeah, it makes sense. Fine. But if it doesn't make sense, then I'm going, no, it doesn't work. That's how I make decision. But I think that Vaughan City, most of the councillor, we get along. We all get along. And we're respectful and we talk to each other. 如果有啲問題 or whatever, we tend to call each other, hey, 呢個問題你覺得點樣 and whatever. And they tend to, we have not a rule, but an unspoken rule. It's basically we respect the local councillors' view and decision most of the time, okay? So if it's in my area, all the colleagues is going to respect me. Just as if it's in my colleagues' area, I will respect that because he knows his residents better than I would. Just like I know my residents in my ward better than they would. So that's how we work in all the Diga Council.
Okay. Rebecca, a more question?
Yeah, I have one point of view that you are kind of artist oriented. So that's why when I drive in Highway 7, it's always attract my attention. I cannot focus on my driving. That's your fault.
Uh-oh.
And it's so busy everywhere.
That means that you have to get onto public transit, that's all.
I will try.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, one of the things we did here as well is because I've traveled, I've done so much many train missions and I've gone to so many different places. One of the things I really like is that architectural standard that we have. I'm very, at the beginning, you always see the same old rectangle buildings or square buildings with the same bricks or whatever they use. It's just so tiring and it's so just boring. And because whatever you build, I say to people, whatever you build, it's going to be built there for years. It's not built for 1 year or 2 years and you're going to take it down, right? Yeah. So we need to build with a foresight. We need to build with a vision that it's going to last. Whatever material, the style has to last for a long time. So that's something that I've been pushing for. In fact, Vaughan is the only city that adopted what we call the design review panel. So every piece of development that goes up must go through a design review panel. The design review panels is made up of all professional architects, landscape architects, planners, whoever it is. So these are people from all over. They come in, sit together, and they have to do a presentation. They look at it, and then they critique it. Whether is this a right way of it? Did you plan properly to your neighbors? Did you plan properly from a park perspective? All those things they take into consideration. Then the developer will have to go back with those comments and work on them and improve their design before they can come forward to our planning department for review.
Yeah, I heard the same argument from MP Costas Menikakis. Canada 基本上冇乜 landmark building. You look.
Yeah, we don't.
Yeah, we just have boxes. Maybe more cost effective.
That's right.
You look at other places like Shanghai, Beijing, or all the big cities.
Yes.
Very memorable. outstanding architecture, right?
Exactly. And that's what that is what I'm trying to do here in Vaughan. We want to get into that side so that we actually have really great landmark buildings that people go, wow.
Yeah, wow, that's one.
It's that wow factor that you want. And that's what we want to see.
我都聽過話咧，就係做 politician 咧，即係個 environment 好 toxic 嘅。點解咧？就話會係即係好啲 politician 好 busy 啦，因為你又要開會啊，又要見 constituents 啊。OK， 咁你作為市議員可能好啲，你都係 live in the same city。如果你係 MP 咧 ，sometimes 如果你係 Vancouver 嘅 MP， 你可能5 Ottawa 開會 ，spend 5 days there and 2 days Vancouver。所以通常 politician 做咗一段時間之後咧，就有兩個 problem。One is health problem, the other is the marriage problem. Okay, so 我問題就係話你點樣去 save time for yourself, for your husband, and for your family?
個問題好 sharp 啊
！It's you know what? I think it's the balance. You need to keep a balance in your life. So as much as yes, work is very important, and it depends. 有啲 politician they only go for meetings and that's about it, and they don't do anything else. There are those ones, and then there are ones that are very responsible. I tend to be the more responsible, and in fact, I respond to almost all of the emails that comes into my email box. In fact, when I first started, I have a habit that I have to respond to all the emails that has come in that day before I go to sleep, because if I don't, I know that it's just going to add up and add up and add up, and then you're either going to miss an email, an important one maybe, or you're just going to lose yourself because you can't catch up to it. So that's always been. So okay, like the first term, I would be answering, and I work late. I go to 2 or 3 in the morning, and I would be responding to residents or whatever. Doesn't mean that I have to answer right away, but whatever they write me, at least I respond to them. Whether, yes, I received your email, I have not directed to so-and-so to look at it, or I will look into it and get back to you. But at least it gets responded. Because I think residents, anybody, will appreciate the fact that, oh, she did read all the email and she is responding, so she knows about all the problem. I think that is a huge thing. And so that's why I take time to actually respond to all of my emails. Doesn't matter who. The problem is I've spoiled my residents, in fact, because, with the social media that has come forward and everybody now tags you on the social media, on Facebook and everything. They ask you questions. So not only do I respond to emails now, I have to respond to social media. I have to respond to Facebook and Messenger and LinkedIn and Instagram. All of them, when they write in, I have to respond to all of them. So it is time consuming, but at the same time, it gives me a real understanding of the situation. What are they upset about? At least I know. Yeah, 有啲 complaint comes in, it makes no sense, okay? And it's nonsense. But then 有啲is very real things. And then because我而家做咗20年咧, many of them are the same. So 嗰啲 same ones I don't need to respond anymore. I give it to all the assistant. I said, okay, you go and respond to this one, or you go and do whatever, because is always the same sort of thing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. But any of the unique one, I still respond to, and I still make that time to listen or to talk to them. But I have found that with social media, I'm spending a lot more time doing that. And on top of the fact is I personally post every social media. So it's me, all the colleagues, 佢啲嘅 assistant 第啲人去 post. I actually take time and post everyone, because
you take
everyone.
The job of marketing department.
Well, we do have a corporate communications people. They give us information, but I always tailor it to my residents, to my area. So I want them to understand that I do know what and I give them that information. I think they find it more interesting when I put a personal touch to all the social media, right? And you tend to get more response back, you know, whether it's good or bad response, you still get response back, right? But it is time consuming. But I think going back to like a question, Joseph, I think it's about the balancing of, you know, I think the first term was really tough. And I think even Odisha, if you talk to them now, they would say to me, their complaint would be the fact that at the time when both Mario and I were both politicians, we were never home. In fact, Odisha, where do I meet him at events? I see my husband at events and we eat together. That's how we actually see each other, the time spent. But the people that suffered most was our kids, because we were we have a reliable nanny and whatever, but it's not the same. You know, when their friends have their parents friends take them to certain things, I need to rely on my friends to take them as opposed to me, because I'm too busy. So I do regret that part, but I think my kids are well versed and they understand, and so it's good, and they appreciate that. I think they appreciate it more now than before, because they also been involved with all the campaigns and everything that we do, that they are much more street smart, in the sense they're much more knowledgeable in the political world. In some of they hear the complaints, so sometimes they even laugh at the complaints. They go, "Really, Mom? Somebody called you about that?" I go, "Yep, that's right." You know, but they understand those things and they appreciate better.
Mm-hmm.
The day you decided to be a politician, you have to be very sacrificed. You'd be ready to sacrifice a lot of personal times.
You do.
So
yes.
During your spare time, do you have spare time? What do you do? Like, do you really get a time to see a show in downtown, or anything to relax?
Now, the first few terms, I didn't have that much of a free time, because I spent a lot of time trying to do the best of my job. Now that I've been in here longer now, I do let go on some things. One of the things I've learned is to delegate to my assistants. At the beginning, you sort of to earn the trust, and once you've earned the trust, now you can sort of delegate and know that things will be done without me having to worry about it. So because I'm one of these people that I worry, that I want to make sure everything is done properly and so forth, right? But yeah, now I have some times. We have a cottage up at Collingwood, so sometimes we take a few days up to just go up there, because even though I still have my phone, so they can still get in touch with me, but I feel I'm a little bit more relaxed because I'm away from the city, you know. The other thing is, when I do have time, I don't have that much time, but I do try to sit down and play the piano. I haven't played the piano. I don't get a chance to play the piano as much as I used to, right? And so when I do get a chance to do that, I sort of just immerse myself into music, which is really relaxing, actually, because nobody's talking to you, nobody is yelling at you, nobody is, you know, complaining to you. It's great.
Okay.
Yeah, very focused.
咁呢個係一個比較 serious 嘅 question。我想問你個 report card, what you have done for the last 20 years?
What have I done for the last 20 years? Wow, that's a whole lot. A lot of things. Well, on top of the usual, responding to complaints is that I've been able to really grow our community. And I think I was just talking to my assistant the other day. I said, how many parks did we open up? So within only Oga Ward, we've opened up about 25 parks, neighborhood parks in the area for the people to enjoy. I opened up a huge community center and the district park in my area, and currently working on. In fact, we just got everything okay, and we're going to do an official groundbreaking in June, beginning of June, and that will be the second community center, district park, and library that will be coming into my ward, which I'm very proud of on that. My biggest achievement, as you know, is the subway. Bringing that subway in is probably the biggest achievement anyone can really say, because it's not only, it doesn't only affect my ward, it affects the entire city. And I think that's hugely important. I also have in my area, in fact, because of the Barrie line that goes through my area, I have both the Rutherford GO station and the Maple GO station in my area. And currently, I've been able to get them to Rutherford is being expanded. They have a huge parking structure now in there. They have made huge improvement and in the station. On top of that, they're taking it's called grade separated improvement, which means that it used to be one of the traffic gridlock is if you're going across any rail, you have to stop because when the train comes, you have to stop and so forth. By doing the grade separation, now the cars goes underneath. So the rail can go on its own and the car goes on and doesn't collide with each other. So that's a huge improvement and it's going to help from the traffic flow perspective. So we're really happy with that. Maple Grove Station, we just got the okay and we just approved. We're also doing an expansion in the parking lot in that area because one of the biggest thing is people could not find parking. People were parking illegally and then they get tickets and then they call me and they go, oh, why am I getting tickets? You asked me to go to use public. So we work with Metrolinx and we're doing that. On top of the fact is we are improving the pedestrian bridge over Major Mac there. It's because there's no real sidewalk. That street is very narrow. There's no sidewalk. It's not safe. So we have a bridge that actually the bridge is from the City Hall, the Vaughan City Hall across to the GO station, so people can walk safely across, which will also it will also encourage even our own workers, employees to take the GO station, to take the GO instead of actually driving in, because if it's so convenient, why not do that? So I've done a lot of work in trying to improve our traffic gridlock, as you mentioned. Traffic gridlock is a huge problem. I am also looking at doing some pilot project as in micro mobility. So bringing smaller buses to pick up people. So instead of them driving to the GO station or whatever, we have buses that can take you to the GO station and pick you and take you back. The closer one, I'm not saying like miles away, but around where you live, it's so much easier. Why take a car there and park and take up the space when you can actually just hop on the bus? They drop you off the GO station. When you come home, they take you back to your home. So I think those are the things that we need to be more creative and open to those ideas. So those are things I've been really pushing for, and including the downtown. Same thing. We're going to be pushing these micro mobility because there's not that much parking spaces here in the downtown either. So we want to be able to still serve the people and take the people around, whether if it's from, let's say the subway station, they want to go to Canada's Wonderland, we will have a bus actually taking them there instead of them having to, to drive and find parking, or to our newest hospital. As you know, Vaughan, we just opened up the newest hospital. It's the first smart hospital across Canada. And that hospital is at Jane and Major Mac. So Jane has now become sort of like Yonge Street. Yonge Street used to be that spine. Well, yeah. Jane is basically that spine over here in the western side, where we have all the various things that's going. That's why we have concentrated on doing developments, like even in Vaughan Mills. Vaughan Mills there is hugely popular with a whole shopping. Then I said to them, I said, well, okay, you have shopping. Why don't you build some residential and mixed uses so that people can actually they live there, they can just walk across the street and go shopping, right? So we need to wrap our heads around complete community. And that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to build complete communities in every area. So when you get out, you don't need to get in the car. You can go and do your grocery. You can do your dry cleaning. You can go to bank. You can go buy your food, whatever the case may be. That's what we're trying to do. So I've been working on those things. What else? I am the chair of the Economic Prosperity Task Force in the City of Vaughan. I have a huge interest in the way our city grows from an economic perspective. And so I chair that. I'm also the vice chair of the Smart City Advisory Task Force. That's the mayor's Smart City Task Force. And really to implement smart technologies to help our residents to become more efficient and more effective. That's what we're trying to do. So, for example, we're trying little pilot project. For example, 好多時 you hear people saying, oh, 嗰啲 garbage can 喺啲 parks 度成日都 overflow 好肉酸好 ugly 啲人就咩 So now we implemented these garbage can that has sensor. So when it gets to a certain level, it will tell us, our staff, that it's gone to that level. Go out there and pick up the garbage now. So that way you will never have overflowing garbage, right? And then it also saves them from, instead of all these things that you go around and inspect every garbage can, they don't need to because they know when to go out because that indicator will tell them to go out there, right? So those are the type of things that technologies that we're trying to implement into. So I played a huge role in that side. What else can I tell you? What else have I done? I've done a lot of other things from a social and cultural thing. As you know, I started the Lunar New Year celebration in Vaughan since I guess it was 2008. No, maybe, 2010, I think I started that. And it's been going on, except for this COVID, this last 2 years, we couldn't do it. But it's been very successful, bringing that culture into Vaughan City to allow everyone to really celebrate. And in fact, you see more non-Chinese than Chinese going there to celebrate because they find it's very interesting. You know, you get all these activities and, and get to eat the Chinese food and see the God of Fortune and all that, and they love it. So this is a way to really expand the culture in Odega and understand it. So I did that. I also did a project called the Peace Tree. It's to really, again, teach people to be accepting of others' cultures. So that one project, I actually worked with Chief Labarge, who was the York Region Police Chief at the time. We did it for about 5 years, a really tremendous, it was based on a movie. It was a little very simple movie about a Muslim girl and a Catholic girl, and they're in the same class. And as you know, kids don't see color. Kids don't see religion. Kids just play because they're good friends, okay? But the parents do. And so the parents are always trying to stop them. So when the Muslim girl wanted to invite the Catholic girl to come over to celebrate Eid, the mom goes, oh, no, I don't think we did. And she wants, because it's just a kid. They want to have fun, right? And so it really opened the eyes up of, parents need to be more open to these type of culture and be more accepting, because they find, or they think in their mind, they think that by you going to somebody else's culture, you're going to lose your own culture. Not true. That is not true. It's just adding more to your knowledge, and that's the thing that we want to do. And so we try to get that message across to a lot of the school kids. That project, we got a lot of school kids involved and get them to understand and appreciate it. So it was a really good project that we did for that. I also do the Lunar Gala, which is through the Autumn Fest Lunar Gala. We had 2 of them very successful, 2017, 2019, and then COVID hit. So I've been asked 1,000 times, we are going to do it next year. This year, election cannot do it. Next year, we're going to have a huge Lunar Gala. So watch out for that. Make sure you come to that one. What else can I tell you? I also I'm also a director of the Tourism Vaughan Corporation. And I also sit as a member of the Tourism Vaughan Advisory Committee. So again, that's very important into helping Vaughan to grow and to be seen as a world-class city. So you need to put all those things in place. In Odega downtown, as you know, you've seen, and right behind me, if you see that where it says PwC, well, that building underneath, PwC is already occupied, but the building underneath right now is not open yet, but it's because of COVID. But there is a library. We will have a VMC library in there. We will also have the YMCA. One of the largest YMCA is situated in the downtown area. As well, we will have what we call the Vaughan event space. So it's very unique because it's not a recreational community center. It's actually space where people can rent. We have a recording studio in there for people to rent and use. We have dance studios in there. We have a cooking kitchen in there to do cooking and demonstrations and all those things. And people can rent those space out to do whatever so it's really interesting. And that hopefully is going to open up in, hopefully, crossing our fingers, by May, that we will have that all open up for everyone to enjoy. Because I think the people that are living here now need those things. They need something to go, because things are not all built out yet, right? So they need these type of activities to really bring people together to have fun. We're also working on a 9-acre park that is going to be just west of where this building is. That 9-acre park is about as big as the Central Park in New York. And that park will be consisting of a portion which is a passive park, one portion which is a active park, and then one which is sort of like a what would you call it? It's almost like a what's the word for it? It's an area where you can have entertainment. You can use it as for concerts and all type of things. You can have theaters, you can have whatever, that type of thing. And that's what we're going to have. So one of the biggest things, as I earlier told you, is my biggest project that I've been pushing since 2003. It's been a very long road, but we're slowly moving forward. It's the Performing Arts, Cultural, and Innovation Campus. This is something that I've always wanted from day one, being music major. I want to contribute back something to Vaughan. And because I appreciate that, I wanted to bring that in. But then I didn't want to bring it like everybody else. So, you've got Living Arts Center in Mississauga. You've got the Rose Center in Brampton and Market, Flato, and whatever. Our center is going to be different. It's not just about showcasing big performances. It's also going to allow smaller cultural groups, community groups, to utilize that space for their own showcasing and whatever. But at the same time, we're also bringing the institutional part. So there's an educational component. I've had talks with many of the arts, I guess. So like the Royal Conservatory, Banff out west, York University, OCAD, Ryerson, all of them. And I say to them, I said, part of the reason, because we have so much traffic, people can't get down there to get the things. My biggest thing when I based my decision was, when I was a kid, I was able to go down to Royal Conservatory for music, for lessons, for everything. Why? Because there wasn't that much traffic. And usually one parent worked and the other parents wasn't working at our time. Now, most of the parents, both parents work. Yeah. So it's very hard for kids to be able to get that chance to go down to conservatory to learn. But at the same time, the really good teachers at the conservatories are losing a lot of really prominent, good pupils because they can't get down there. So I said, why don't we do it so that we allow this institution, or whatever this building that we're going to call, it's going to allow to bring all types of programs, whether it's from OCAD, whether it's from York, whether it's from Royal Conservatory, but bring those programs here and to have them deliver here. So people up here and beyond north can come here to get that same sort of skills and education and so forth. That was my thinking behind it. And that's why I did what I did. And so, and they all love that idea. And we're going to pursue that further now. So those are some of the things that I've been working on. I want our city, Vaughan, to become the gateway, the gateway to the arts. It's in the city of Vaughan. And we're going to make it so it's very synergetic. So why I did is that every developer in this area that's building, I have told them that I need you in your development, I don't care where, you must provide a space for the arts. I don't care if it is for an art gallery, for theater, for film studio, for whatever the case, but something related to the arts must be in your development. Why I say that is because then you build a synergy around the entire downtown. So you have different things going on, people going in different directions for different things. That's the reason why I started that. So those are some of the things that I have sort of I guess implemented into our planning, into the things that we're doing to help Vaughan to become a better city. I am working also in bringing in a production studio into our downtown, as well as a culinary training center. Those are a number of projects I'm working on these days. A lot of these projects takes a lot of time, unfortunately, but we're working on that. But the most important one right now that I'm working on is the Vaughan International Music Festival. It is the first international music festival ever in Vaughan and in York region. This will be coming in this spring or summer in June. So it's June 10th, 11th, and 12th. We will be bringing in a 3 days of different showcase of different cultural music, everything from Japanese drumming to Vietnamese performance to Filipino marching band to Chinese. We got the Chinese orchestra coming in. We have all different type of and then we also have a segment which is called the Rising Star Spotlights. We have the younger generations of rising stars that will be performing as well. So those are all the stuff that I'm working on right now.
Yeah, I think Rebecca and I should consider to moving to Vaughan.
Yeah,
I think that's a good idea.
Amazing. I always looking forward to an international music festival. Let's date on June 10th,
11th, and 12th.
11th and 12th.
Yeah.
I will let you know for sure.
Have to be there.
Yes.
過去2年咧 pandemic 咧出現咗好多 Asian hate crime。咁我想問你有冇自己嘅 personal 有冇 encounter 過，同埋 how you see this this development 呀？
Yeah, it is unfortunate. Yeah, 我自己就冇, but 我個女有, which is funny. And she's half Chinese and half Italian, and yet she got it. She was driving through a drive-through at, I think, Tim Horton or something like that, and some guy yelled at her and told her to go back to her own country, that type of thing. And it's like, and 我個女 doesn't even look Chinese. So that's what I thought was funny. And then my son, the same thing. My son got it at where he was working. Same thing. They got that. Said, I'm going like, really? so it's crazy, but they do. So in fact, it does exist. And I've heard it also on other people that told me, and wrote to me. It's very sad that this happens. It's sad that instead of really understanding the truth, they take little bits of things and they make up their mind, and they have this mind that, oh yeah, it's because someone somewhere there says, oh, COVID came from China, so everybody thinks it's Chinese, is a Chinese thing, right? It's sad, but I think that, and the one thing I did say to everybody is that when these things happen, we cannot be a standby. We must take action. And that's one thing that I think 好多時我哋中國人 don't tend to do that, because 我哋中國人 we have a certain way that we do, right? We're very much more preserved. We don't want to 好多時 even when we were growing up, our dad would say 唔好多事啊，唔好理人哋啲嘢，唔好理人哋啲嘢. But if we all keep doing the same, that 唔好理人哋 it's just going to go bad instead of better. We need to step up. We need to voice our opinion. When it's wrong, you need to speak up. And I think that's the one thing that starting to, but the previous generation wouldn't do it. They won't do it because it wasn't in their system to do it. And they feel it's not the, what's the 句佢話少啲好過多啲定乜鬼 something some 一句嗰啲when they talk about it, it's don't get involved with other people's business. It's other people's business, it's not yours. But that's not true, because we all live together in the society. We all live in this community, and we do all have to step up and speak up, right? And so I think that it has, and I think that because of the anti-Black, and so forth, that has helped getting people to speak up a little bit more. And all the newer generation, meaning all the Sailola, they tend to now speak up. They do tend to talk about it more, and they voice their opinion more, which is good. And I'm happy to see that. But there's still a lot of people that are very ignorant, is what it is. I call them ignorant. It's people that just don't have the facts, and they make conclusion. And that's a problem that we have. It's a societal thing, but we can't give up. It's funny. I had posted something just the other day, and someone said to me, they go, "Well, yeah, but it's such a hard thing." They go, "It's such a hard thing. What do you do about it?" I said, "Well, you don't throw up your hands. That's for sure, and you don't just walk away. You need to do something, and you need to take action. You need to speak about it and have real meaningful discussion." That's what it is. Mm-hmm. And I think that's the thing. But Vaughan City, as much as we didn't get it as badly as some other places that probably have more Chinese. We, as I said, don't have that. I think the percentage in here is only maybe 10% Chinese. So, and it's spread across the city. So we don't have as much of that in here.
Rebecca 有冇最後問題？
我冇啊。
好啦，咁我最後一個問題就係話，你有冇諗過退休？如果退休之後，你會做啲乜嘢咧？咁
我成日都話退休嘅，我先生，every time 我同我先生講我退休，佢話你退休咗做咩啊？我話我退休我有好多嘢做㗎。I said don't forget. I said before politics, I had a lot of other things to do. 有冇諗住退休？有 ，but I think the way I'm going to is I want to finish off some of my major projects. And I think one of the major projects is, of course, Odigo Performing Arts Center. And not that to finish it, but to at least get in place and get it started. If I know it's already in place and get it started, I'm happy. And I know that, yes, it's going to come. I've left a legacy of something. So I've always thought about Toyo every so often, but I think that once I have completed some of my major projects, then I think I'm ready to Toyo. I'm not one of these, I'm not what do they call those? I'm not one of these politicians just be there just for the sake of being there. Because for me, it's very important that I accomplish something. And if I don't accomplish something, then it's time for me to leave because there's nothing else for me to do. So, but right now there's just so many different things I still need to finish up. So I guess I will still continue doing my job. And as long as people continue to elect me, I will continue to be here.
That's great. We will consider to move.
Thank you. Yes, please do. Please do.
Yeah, through this conversation, I know that you enjoy your life and you do have a fruitful and meaningful life. All right. So good luck for everything. All right. So keep in touch. All right.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Joseph, and thank you, Rebecca, for having me here. I really enjoyed our conversation. And I want to congratulate you, Joseph, because you started this TorontoTv. And I still remember when you came in, it was very small and how we've expanded and expanded. So, and you've done well. So congratulations to you on your 20th anniversary.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Yeah.
20.
Before you go there,
yes.
去過 Quebec, 訪問過 Quebec Music Festival. Okay, and the secretary there, they told me that they used to have the Quebec Music Festival every year. And at the beginning, they tried to invite like small bands and musicians to play there. It's a 2 months long festival. It's in the summer.
Right.
But later on, they changed the strategy. They bring in the big names.
Right.
Okay, like the Sting, international famous band. And then the audience come over the world.
Yes.
All right, so they make it big.
Yes.
Another example is in SARS, Hong Kong tried to revive the Hong Kong economy.
Right.
They bring in the Rolling Stone.
Yes.
$10 million just bring in the Rolling Stone.
Yeah.
Right. So,
no, and you're absolutely right. And this is because this is the first year. First year is always the hardest year because we've got the smallest budget. We've got the smallest budget.
Yes.
I am doing a lot of fundraising and corporate sponsor to get that people to donate.
Yeah.
But we're doing it in a smaller way this time. But if it's successful, we are going to go big. This is going to become a signature event every single year, and it will only grow. So each year we will grow, we will add a component to it and so forth, you know. This year, actually, I do have someone, I can't tell you yet because it's a surprise. There's a surprise. There is a surprise group that I am trying to get into this. And if we are able to get that, I think it's going to bring a lot of people into this.
Woodstock in Vaughan?
Say that again?
Woodstock in Vaughan.
Oh, yeah. Something like that. Not as much, but
all right. One day. All right. Sandra.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Everybody. Take care.
Good night. Bye-bye.